Hi there, it's Natasha, and thank you so much for joining me today. We are going to be working with this cute little Gnomes stamp set, and down on the table I also have the coordinating dies that cut out the 5 little gnomes that are there. And to start off, I have stamped them in some VersaFine Onyx black ink and heat embossed them with clear embossing powder. And I'm going to use my TriBlend markers by Spectrum Noir. These are just alcohol markers, and there are 3 shades in each of the markers. So for me anyway, it cuts out some of the guessing work. So there's the light end, the mid, and then the dark at the other end. And I've really enjoyed these, but that's a whole different topic anyway. I'm colouring in these little gnomes, and I'm colouring them in super simple with just the red marker. So these 3 different shades of red. Now I have coloured in the other ones just quickly. My colouring is nothing to write home about. I'm not good at it. And to be honest, on these little gnomes, it's not too much to colour in anyway. But use whatever you have. If you have zig markers, if you have watercolours, if you just want to use a paintbrush, if you have coloured pencils, anything will work. It doesn't even matter. And I'm just keeping mine completely red and white with a little bit of pink on his nose and blush on his cheeks and things. So I have got the coordinating dies here, and I'm going to clip them apart using some wire snips and then use a little bit of low-tack tape just to secure them in place as I run them through my die cutting machine. I had to do it in a few turns because, as you can see, I have 2 different pieces of paper here, but they look pretty cute when they come out. They do, however, have kind of these stars and things attached in all different places and bits and pieces, so I have just cut those off with my scissors because I don't need them for this little project. And I cut out 4, but I actually end up using 3. Then I have this kind of bricks embossing folder. It's off Ali. I'll link it down below in case you're interested. But yeah, just thought it was kind of a nice simple background. This whole card is very clean and simple and very fast to put together. The colouring is what took me the longest, and that barely took me any time either. So I am just cutting this little embossed piece of paper. It's an 80-pound Nina Solar White embossed piece of paper. And I have a little pokey tool with some foam behind it, and I am just poking 4 holes in the corners. Now I am going to put through some brads. However, you could use anything here. You could just use buttons, you could use Nouveau drops, you could use anything that you have just to add a little bit more interest. And I'm going to pop them through and then just bend the legs one way so that they stay out of the way. And also, as for the embossing folder, you could use anything, any pattern behind this. It doesn't have to be the bricks. Anything that you have would work perfectly as well. And once I've got that all done, I am just going to start putting this card together. This is from the KSCRAFTLOVERS store too, as were the Gnome stamps and dies. And this is just mirror cardstock that comes in about 5 or 6 colours, and you get a few pieces of each colour. For this, I am going to use the green because it's kind of a Christmas theme. So the little gnomes were red, and I'm going to have a matting green layer. So I'm just going to cut it down, and I think I cut this to 4 by 5 1/4, and my card base is a 110-pound Nina Solar White 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card base. Then I have this simple little banner die here, which I've used a million times so far. I'm loving it. And a Merry Christmas little stamp from the Gnome stamp set. There is lots of cute punny sentiments in that one as well, but I am just going to add underneath my gnomes a little bit of this brown grey colour. It will fade back quite a lot as well, and I'm just doing this so as to kind of ground the gnomes a little bit, sort of like a shadow or sort of just something to ground them. Yeah. Anyhow, now it's just time to pop it all together, and I am using my liquid glue to mat the layer of mirror cardstock. And then in between the mirror cardstock and the embossed piece, I'm going to put a piece of white fun foam. And it was cut just slightly smaller than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I just cut the corners off really quickly to keep it away from those brads. A little more liquid glue, and I will center that up as well. And then from here on, I'm just going to put some of these foam squares. These are from Alina's craft store on Aliexpress, and they are great. I'm loving them. They're super sticky, and I have just put them all over the backs of all 3 of the gnomes and my sentiment, and I'm just going to pop these little guys down. They look pretty cute in my opinion. I quite like these little gnomes. So yeah, and then I will pop the sentiment in the middle, and that will finish off my card for today. Thank you so much for watching this quick and clean and simple card today. I hope I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, bye!